Comedy Central roast of the bishop begins now. We've got Nate Bergazzi. That was the Comedy Central part, sorry. Whether you've traveled from across the region or joined us from right down the road, your presence here is a testament to the impact of the bishop's leadership has had on all of our lives. On behalf of the Synod Council and the Synod staff, I want to extend a heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you for being here and to sharing this moment of gratitude and joy. As we reflect on the bishop's years of dedication and service, leadership, and grace, we are guided tonight by a beautiful truth found in Ephesians 2:10. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. I got to be honest, I got some help on the Greek here. The Greek word that Paul uses for workmanship is poema, the very root in which we get our English word poem. Think about that for a moment. This verse beautifully illustrates that we are not mass-produced. We are God's masterpiece. His poem, created with intention, rhythm, and the beauty to perform good works. Our creativity, our faith, and our service are not just random acts. They are direct reflections on our Creator, who prepared these good works for us beforehand. For years, Bishop Jenny has lived out this verse among us. Her ministry has been a living poem, a beautiful, intentional expression of God's grace, vision, and love. She's helped us see the poema in our own lives, encouraging us to walk boldly in the good works God designed for us. And tonight, we celebrate the masterwork of her ministry and the lasting legacy that she leaves behind. A poem is best understood when you hear different verses. So tonight we're blessed to hear from several individuals who have shared in different chapters of Bishop Jenny's journey. Through their words, we will catch a glimpse of the many ways her leadership has shaped our community, inspired our faith, and reflected the heart of God.
Some of you may know that tonight begins the Miss South Carolina pageant, and tonight my worlds collided because just around the corner are those folks who are vying for the title of Miss South Carolina, and my daughter, Miss South Carolina Volunteer 25, was able to join us this evening, and she's right there videoing. But I am here on behalf of Dr. David Harpool, who could not be here because in my traveling over the last 2 weeks, he decided to go to a conference in Arizona. So he sends his deepest apologies that he could not be here. So he wrote something. Whereas the Reverend Virginia S. Abisher was elected on July 25th, 2020, to serve as Bishop of the South Carolina Synod of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, having previously served the Synod as assistant to the Bishop from 2008 to 2020, and will complete her term on August 31st, 2026. And whereas Bishop Abisher received the Master of Divinity degree from Lutheran Theological Southern Seminary in 1989, was ordained on September 17, 1989, and installed as pastor of Lutheran Church of the Redeemer in Charleston, South Carolina. And in 2001 was called as pastor of Mount Tabor Lutheran Church in West Columbia, South Carolina. And whereas during her service as bishop, she has provided dedicated and exemplary leadership to the South Carolina Synod, served on the boards of numerous synodical institutions, participated in the work of the ELCA Conference of Bishops, and demonstrated particular commitment to the church's mission and ministry. And whereas she has shown a lifelong commitment to youth, campus ministry, and young adults, while faithfully encouraging and supporting those discerning their baptismal vocation of service to God and neighbor. Whereas Bishop Abisher has served the church faithfully, embodying Christ's example of servant leadership, compassion, and care for others. And whereas the Reverend David Kaufman, campus pastor, has nominated Bishop Abisher for this honor, and the nomination is recommended by the president of Newberry College, Dr. David Harpool. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Newberry College hereby confers upon the Reverend Virginia Abisher the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
Wow, what an honor.
Beautiful. That was so sweet. I'm going to kiss you. Thank you. Oh my goodness.
While she will appreciate that, our bookstore, I think she'll appreciate this a little bit more. It's a little cow with a Newberry shirt.
I love that too. Thank you so much.
And a gift bag.
Oh, excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
Good evening. I'm Jaime Lleras from Shepherd of the Sea in Garden City, which we all know that's not too far from Myrtle Beach. I was misunderstanding the whole art exhibit type thing, but then we're slow in Myrtle Beach. We spend too much time on the sand waiting for the waves. But I do have a little gift that I put together as a craftsman. And I thought that all these gifts were going to be going to her. Good luck. However, on behalf of my wife and I and Shepherd of the Sea, I'd like for you to open that and then hopefully enjoy.
I'm sure I'll enjoy it. Let's see. Can I pull it out like this? Will you help me? Well, maybe that's
It's full of sand.
Oh my goodness. I think we better open the whole thing. Let's see.
Let me open it for you.
Yes, please. Oh, tiny. That's beautiful.
Enjoy. Thank you.
So I'm Susan McCarver, former professor at the seminary and president of the Board of Trustees of the James R. Crumley Jr. Archives. I've known Bishop Jenny for more years than we want to admit. Somewhere in my boxes in my closet, I have a photograph of Pastor Jenny then, holding my infant son at Purdue University at the youth gathering in 1985. That's how far we go back. I have been very honored. I do not have a gift for her, I'm afraid, on behalf of the archives. But I am so honored to have been both a friend and also a person who has had her as my bishop. I cannot imagine a more lovely thing to have known someone who has come through and offered so much ministry. I don't know how many of you remember Hurricane Hugo, right? That was her first exposure to ministry. I think you were ordained a week before 4 days before Hurricane Hugo. 4 days before Hurricane Hugo. And she was then tasked by this synod at that time to be responsible for the recovery effort in South Carolina. 4 days she'd been ordained. We go back a really long way. She's been a strong supporter of the seminary during my time there. She's been a strong supporter of the archives. And she's been a strong supporter of all of us. So, Bishop Jenny, many, many thanks for all that you have done for all of us.
I was just instructed not to tell any stories from dinner, so I always listen to my bishops. Friends, I'm bringing greetings now from Lutheran Theological Southern Seminary, Lenore University, and first from President Summer McGee. Thank you, congratulations. And on behalf of the seminary, I just want to say a couple words. I have gotten to know Bishop Jenny upon taking this call, and I was called back in an unexpected way when I looked at discernment that was ahead for mission and ministry overseas for 17 years. And I came back to serve in this place and was welcomed by Bishop Jenny among a lot of other colleagues. And of course, Bishop Jenny played an important role on the advisory council for LTSS and in the life of the seminary. And I learned very quickly that, like the mission of the seminary since its beginning, Bishop Jenny was always committed to a clergy that would be well-trained, to theological education that was going to build up the life of the church for all of its people. And I found someone who was such an advocate and such a support for that in the life and the vision of the seminary. I learned, of course, in my research and coming back with the help of Dr. McCarver and others, that this was actually at the beginning. John Bachman, that founded the seminary, originally said that this was one of the goals for the Lutheran Church at the time, to have good trained leaders for public ministry. To the point that he made the joke that Jesus called the disciples, but he took 3 years to train them, right? So it was quite the process. But Bishop Jenny has never wavered from that. But as the dean of the seminary, I also have a privileged place to be able to call the bishops of Region 9 together, and seeing my bishop partner here as well, to spend time together just in discernment and thinking about theological education and the shape of the church. And I just want to reflect back that I don't know if y'all know this, but when the ELCA came together, we didn't really do our bishops a favor by leaving a lot of questions unanswered. We wanted them to be bishop, we wanted them to be the president, we wanted them to be the spiritual leader, which is the Episcopal office, we wanted them to do all the administrative things, and that's hard. And to be in a place to walk with our bishops is a special thing. But the reason I say that is because I want to say that this is one of the greatest things I learned about her and from her that I'm left with and I'm so appreciative of, is that in the midst of all of that, one thing that Bishop Jenny would never forget or let go is this priestly role of the Episcopal office, of being a bishop. And the role of a priest is to stand in the gap, right? The ones that would offer the sacrifice back in the day. You stand in the gap, you hold the space, and you wait until the Holy Spirit comes and does what needs to be done. And in my experience, with all the changes in the life of the seminary and the life of the ELCA, which I'm sure you experience in your congregations and settings, your willingness, Bishop Jenny, just to stand in the gap, to hold it in love, to hold everybody together, and be a mediator to let the Holy Spirit do its thing. I can't tell you enough, for me and from the seminary's experience in these years, what a gift that's been. So I'm going to miss you on the advisory council. And the gift that I've brought, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what it is. You can open it, but I'll spoil it. Is something that we give all of our outgoing advisory council members. And it's bookends with the seminary logo. Been doing that for a lot of years before I arrived on the scene. But now we found an artisan, speaking of making and creating, in hickory to make it out of hickory wood. And so it represents for me this continuity of this piece of art that the seminary has been giving for many, many years, now in the ecology and the context of Hickory, North Carolina. And so, Bishop, it just reminds me of that apostolic call to hold on to that tradition and shepherd it into the future so it can thrive and grow. That's what you've been. I can't thank you enough. And so it's a joy to present this to you on behalf of the grateful seminary. Indeed. You'll recognize it. Yes.
Oh my goodness. What kind words? Thank you so much for your ministry.
The Synod office staff has been waiting for this day for some time, I understand. In a good way, I think. And have asked to have a moment. So, our Synod office staff.
Do you want me to move off the stage so you'll have more room?
No.
Okay.
It's all good. Good evening, everyone. As staff of the South Carolina Synod, we've spent a lot of time reflecting on our bishop's leadership. We realized that being a bishop isn't all that different from being a farmer, except the sheep are sometimes a little more like cattle.
For 6 years, Bishop Jenny's been our head wrangler. She's kept us off the electric fences, made sure we didn't get stuck in the low country, and always made sure the spiritual silos were full. She's determined, resilient, and has a faith-filled heart that's bigger than a barn door. Moo.
But if you did not know, she's also a shepherd who knows how to have a little fun. So, in honor of her creative spirit and that beautiful smile we love, the herd back at the office put together a little tribute. Bishop Jenny, this is from the perspective of your favorite livestock.
The gate swings wide on a seasoned hinge, where the jasmine grows on the clover's fringe. From the Blue Ridge peaks to the coastal sand, you've been our steward in this land. We, your Synod herd, stand proud and tall, lowing our thanks for it all.
Determined when the summer heat, you weren't just focused on fences and grain. You steered the South Carolina plain. Determined when the summer heat was bold, faith-filled when the winter air turned cold. With a resilient heart and a thoughtful eye, you strove to keep the Lutheran spirit high.
Your creative spark made the barn feel bright, and your humor eased the heaviest night. When we were confused or moved somewhat slow, your compassion let the green grass grow.
We'll miss your joy of Halloween and your creative flair, the way you toss a prayer into the air. Always authentic, never a cowardly soul, with a focused vision to keep the herd whole.
Oh, that beautiful smile as bright as the sun, and your grateful heart when the day was done. Protective and caring, faithful and true, the Palmetto Synod found strength in you. A faith-filled shepherd with a silly streak, providing the wisdom and joy that we seek.
Thank you. So graze now, Bishop, in retirement fields of fun and rest. Know that your herd felt truly blessed. The fences are sturdy, the water is clear, because of the love you planted here. The pews may be different, the pastures may change, but you'll always be welcome on this home range.
For those of you who may have guessed what the bishop's favorite animal is.
I have a few, but that's my favorite farm animal.
Favorite farm animal. And good job by the Synod staff not to talk about the manure that may have been showing up over the years as well. I'm a country boy. I know how that works. Very good. In closing, and then if you would like to have some remarks, you're welcome to have so. I'll tell you what, why don't you speak, if you have, would you like to speak?
I would just like to say thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, this is truly an honor. The words that each of you that spoke said will touch my heart and stay with me forever. And the love that all of you share just means the world to me. I am in love with this staff, and I think they're amazing and they're wonderful. And I just want to give you a disclaimer. I'm actually a city girl who grew up outside of New York City. I don't know farming at all, so disclaimer. But I've had a passion for my whole life for cattle. And I like to slow down or stop, as Pastor Rick found out when we were tag teaming in the cars on the way to a congregation, and I saw a herd of cattle on the side of the road.
I've never seen brake lights so fast.
I can't explain my fascination with them except to tell you in a very idealistic way that they seem like some of the most peaceful animals on earth. Now, those of you that are really farmers, you probably could tell me another tale, but just let me have my fantasies if you don't mind. So we've had lots of cow incidences in the Synod office, and I think it was more recently that some others learned my passion for the four-legged mooer. I am truly grateful for today, grateful for the gifts, grateful for the time. And you've heard enough from me already because my report was very long earlier. Thank you for indulging that. I felt like I had some things I needed to say. I am truly honored to be your bishop. I do have some time left. In case you didn't know, I don't actually get retired until August 31st. And I've got some things to do, namely, like I told you earlier, I've got a wedding next weekend. And then after that, more synodical work. But I do want you to have a chance. You saw Paul earlier. Now I've lost him. I don't know where he went. Oh, there we go. Seated. There we go. But I would like you to also, I'd like to introduce you to my family, if they would kind of come over here for a minute so I can tell you who they are. Some of you who have been members of the parishes that we served, you might remember our children when they were little. Some people have said to me, your boys have really gotten tall. And that's true. That's true. So next to Paul is Joshua. He's our firstborn son, and his wife Addie, and our granddaughter Rosie. Some of you have seen pictures of her on my personal Facebook page. And then next to Addie is Reed, my soon-to-be daughter-in-law, and Micah, our youngest son. And where's your mom? There, and Paul's mom, Judy. It's good to have all of you here, and I thank you for all the kind words and for everything that you've done. Thank you.
All right, so in closing, just a gentle reminder, if you would like to honor Bishop Abisher by contributing to the Bishop Abisher Fund for Children, Youth, and Family Ministry, that remains open. And come see me afterwards, or look on the Synod website, or scan your QR code at your table when you get back to the Assembly Hall in the morning. But thank you all for celebrating the power of creativity and the ministry of Bishop Jenny tonight. We're going to conclude this